Zach, I'm kidding. What do you think?
Congratulations. You've been set up. This is yours.
It's another episode on the Beetle, and it looks so good. It's looking like a Baja off-road apocalypse Beetle, exactly what I'm going for. I haven't decided what I'm going to call it yet, but one of those things when we're done with it. This episode is an exciting one because we are putting a lift kit on it. This is going to change the whole appearance, driving maybe. We'll have to figure that out, and we're going to have new wheels on it too by the end of this episode. It's going to change the look, definitely. And also have the final appearance of what this Beetle is going to fully look like, complete. Anything after this is probably going to be pretty minor, but this is going to be a huge change, and I think it's going to look really cool. Now, talking about this lift kit, because there's not too many options out there, there's really none that I found besides this company. Volkswagen lift kits, they offer springs, block-off plates for Beetles, Jettas, Tiguan's, pretty much all the newer Volkswagens and some Audis. I have their block-off plate, and also they sell springs too for a 2-inch lift. This block-off plate offers a 1-inch lift, and it's pretty easy to install. These are for the rear, it goes on top of the springs like that. And these ones are for the front, they go underneath the strut, put the 1-inch lift on. Super simple. And I also have the springs. Now these springs offer a 2-inch lift, so altogether it should be a 3-inch lift, and that's the highest you can go on a Beetle that I'm aware of without digging into more complex stuff like changing the trailing arms and all that kind of stuff that I don't want to get into. I'm just looking for a little bit of lift for the appearance and practicality of it, really. Now I have new wheels coming in. I need a lift kit for it for clearance and practicality, really, because I don't want to do any kind of trimming to my fenders or bumper or anything like that, so this comes in very handy. I haven't done a lift kit before on a car per se. I've only done a block-off plate on an old Tacoma, so this is going to be a new learning experience for me, and hopefully I can walk you guys through how easy it is or how hard it is, but I think it's going to be pretty easy. This doesn't seem too complicated. VolkswagenLiftKits.com is going to be a link in my description, also on the screen right here. If you're doing any kind of lift kit on your Volkswagen, you need to hit them up first because they are pretty much the only option out there and the best option. Alright. Let's knock this out, see how it looks. First, I want to get some before and after photos, seeing how high it lifts up, especially with the new wheels that are going to go on it, because I think it's going to play a big part in it too. So, let's do that. Let's start with the rear first. Yep, it is definitely lifted. That doesn't look like 3 inches to me. That looks a little bit bigger than 3 inches. And I know what 3 inches looks like, so. Now, talking about the lift kit, it wasn't too bad to install, honestly. The rear end took maybe an hour for both sides. It was pretty easy. You just drop one bolt, springs go in, the block-off plate goes in, and it's just that. You slap it all back together. Very easy. You can do it by yourself pretty easily. Now the front, on the other hand, was a little bit more time consuming. It was a little frustrating at some points just because it's an older car, so it starts rusting, and getting the strut out was a little hard, but I got it out, pulled the spring out, put it all back in, put it all back together. The only hard part was just, like I said, taking it all out, because you have to take off the axle and basically drop the whole knuckle out of the way to get the strut out. But once you get all that out, putting the spring on and putting it back in wasn't super hard. Definitely a lot easier if you have a second person to help you hold the strut up or hold other parts up, because it does get heavy trying to hold it all and slide it back into place. But if you are just doing a block-off plate, like a little 1-inch lift, it would have been super easy, probably less than 2 hours by yourself. It'd be super easy because you won't have to take out that whole strut. You can just kind of drop it a little bit, probably just undo the 3 bolts up top, drop it a little bit, and then put it in the block-off plate. Same thing with the rear, you just take out that 1 bolt, drop it a little bit, and then throw the block-off plate in there. Easy as that. Probably less than 2 hours. But it wasn't super hard, and I think it looks really good. It definitely lifted it up a lot. So huge thank you to VolkswagenLiftKits.com. If you guys are looking to lift your Volkswagen, Audi, or any other products they have, check them out first. Very affordable and very easy. I approve. Next up, we're gonna finish up the rough country lights. I have the LED rock lights and the light controller module that's gonna clean up the switches a little bit more. I'm going to install rock lights in each wheel well, and then also probably 2 on the side, kind of shine down right where you step in the car. You can see the ground or whatever. Same thing on your side, both wheel wells, 2 in the middle. And then probably have to rewire some of the switches to run the switch plate in the inside. Gonna learn how to install the multiple light controller. It's supposed to be like a universal, so you can hook up other lights even if it's not from rough country. So we're gonna try that out, see how hard it is, and get all the lights hooked up. Yeah, let's do that. Lights are all hooked up and it looks pretty freaking sweet. Can't really see it right now because it's daylight out, but they're actually really bright. It looks really cool and it wasn't super hard to hook up. The really cool part is this whole control switch module. Now the control switches are right here. I mounted them up on this panel right here. To take this panel out, it's just 2 screws underneath the shifter. Pop it out, very easy to hook up. Mount it, there's only 2 screws on the back side of this switches. I think this is a really good spot, matches very well, doesn't stick out a whole lot. And the blue lights match my headliner. I like that. cool little feature. And wiring, I ran all the way down to this control box. Now this control box is where you run your positive and negative wire from your lights or external electronic thing you want to hook up to your switches. You run it all through here and it actually controls the switches. That way you only have to run your wires in one place, not have to hook up to multiple different things like an ignition switch or whatever. This control box is just hooked directly up to your battery. Now what's really cool about this, and it was also kind of confusing in the beginning because I didn't know about it, it actually has a safety feature in it. So if your battery gets too low, it cuts off all the external lights that are hooked up to it, and it'll save your battery so you won't be stranded out in the woods or whatever. So you can run these lights without your car on, and then once the battery gets too low, it will shut them all off. That way you still have enough power. I think that's a really cool feature. I didn't know about it in the beginning, so it wasn't really working for me. And the reason for that is I left my interior lights on overnight, so my battery was a little low. But I think that's a really cool feature. As soon as I found out about it or read about it in the instructions, I thought it was awesome. And the reason I mounted this underneath my seat is I actually don't have a whole lot of room in my engine bay. So underneath the seat, easy to get to. The seat's actually pretty easy to take out. So if I want to run more wires to it, I can very easily. And speaking of that, I actually have 4 open spots for other lights or other electronics I can hook up. So if you guys have any ideas, I am actually gonna hook up one LED light shining backwards. So if I'm hooking up the jet skis at night or backing up in a dark area and I can't see, I can turn down that switch, shine up the back. So that's gonna take off one of them. So I have 3 extra switches. If you guys have any other ideas, cool ideas of what I could use for it, that would be awesome. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, awesome product, link in the description if you guys wanna check them out. But now onto the very exciting thing. Look what came in. Now I'm sure you all heard of Koenig. Koenig actually sponsors a lot of other YouTubers, and I'm very excited to be able to work with them. Mamba off-road wheels are actually Koenig's off-road brand, and they look pretty freaking sweet. These are the M19s. They are a 15-inch wheel. I know you're gonna think that sounds a little small, but I really wanted a meaty tire, and I think that's just gonna look better for the whole off-road apocalypse style I'm going for. And 15-inch rims is as small as you can go on a Volkswagen Beetle. Some of the newer Beetles, I think you might have to go a 16 because they upgrade the brakes on some of the newer Beetles, but 15-inch works on mine, and that's what I wanted to go for. I wanted something small, but also something that fit a really fat, meaty tire. So that's why I went with 15s. And I went with the black because obviously I have a lot of black and I don't have any chrome on my car, so I think the black's gonna look really, really awesome on it. Now going off-road wheels on a Volkswagen is a little difficult because you can't find any lug patterns with the off-road wheel for a Volkswagen, because Volkswagen has a 5x112 lug pattern, and most off-road 5 lug wheels are 5x114.3 lug pattern. I'm getting into a lot of numbers right here. I'm trying to keep it simple for you guys, but you can't find a off-road wheel with the same Volkswagen lug pattern. So to fix that and make an off-road wheel work, you have to buy an adapter. And here's the adapter for it. It goes from a 5x112 to a 5x114.3. So it'll make the off-road wheels work and fit, and it also gives it a 1-inch spacer. You have to have a spacer on it because it wouldn't work otherwise. You can't just slap a new lug pattern on there without having any kind of spacer, unless you wanted to redo your whole braking system and everything like that. But I'm not doing that. 1-inch spacer adapter kit is the easiest way to do this. So that's all you really need to run these off-road wheels on your Volkswagen. I think it's a good compromise, and I think a 1-inch spacer on some off-road wheels will actually look a lot better, give it a more aggressive look. But huge thank you to Mamba off-road wheels. There are links in the description. Koenig also, if you guys are looking for any kind of wheels for your Volkswagen you don't have to have an adapter to, check them out. Huge thank you to them, and let's wait for these tires to come in. Man, it looks so good. It looks like an off-road apocalypse Baja Beetle. It looks exactly how I pictured it. And take a look at that render again and tell me it doesn't look very close to similar. It looks really good. Even the wheels kind of match, except for these ones are black and those ones like all dirty and muddy, but it looks so good. I just can't wait to start driving it and seeing people's reactions. Hopefully that's in the next episode. Next episode is probably gonna be my last one. I have a few other touches I want to add to it. Like I want to make the exhaust a little bit louder and maybe put a new radio in it or some other little things like floor mats and just kind of getting it ready to be my daily driver. Also, one other thing, I think it's missing something, like maybe a front bumper bar or something. I just can't imagine anything being up there, but also I think it would look pretty cool with having a bumper bar with like a winch on it or something. I don't know, if you guys have like a sketch or like some kind of render idea and you want to send it to me, you can email it to me or maybe message me on Instagram or something. Same thing with the rear. I'm thinking maybe building like a spare tire holder off the back hitch would be kind of cool. I know a lot of people said to put a spare tire up here, but it's just too much weight up here already. It's starting to dent in the roof. This is more like for appearance and maybe putting some gas tanks or something up there. But it just looks so freaking good with these Mamba off-road wheels. Their links in my description. Huge thank you to them. They look so good with these tires. These tires are actually a kind of a cheap tire brand. Didn't really know exactly what I wanted. I wanted something kind of aggressive, but also didn't want to make a lot of noise driving since it's going to be my daily driver. So something that looks aggressive but still has like some tread on it. So I just bought some cheap ones for now, and maybe eventually I'll upgrade them to a little bit more aggressive look, maybe a wider tire a little bit more. Don't really know. I think these look really good though. Let me know what you guys think. I did take it for a little test drive down my street just to make sure everything was okay. It does rub a tiny bit back here, but nothing even close to like doing any damage or anything. It's probably because the tread is just so high and new. And once I start running it a little bit more, it'll go down. Won't rub anymore probably. Doesn't hit the front bumper or anything. It all clears really good. Huge thank you to VolkswagenLiftKits.com. They knew exactly what they were talking about. They knew which wheels would work with it without any kind of rubbing. They were very helpful, and that was really good to know since I don't really know a whole lot about wheels and like what works and what doesn't. So super helpful for them. They gave me a whole lot of different kind of tires I can choose from, which ones would work, which ones would rub, which ones they prefer. So huge thank you to them. Their link's in the description. Check them out for a Volkswagen lift kit and make yours look like this. And also a final thank you to Rough Country for the lights. You saw that little clip of it at night. It is very bright, and I'm gonna be blinding some people if I turn that on the road. It's crazy bright, and the rock lights look really good. The switches inside look awesome. Everything just matches so well, and I'm really happy with how it's turning out. So huge thank you to all of them. Their links are in my description. Check them out, please. If you are looking to do any kind of off-road lighting, lift kits for your truck, Jeep, anything, check them out. And that is it for this video. Let me know what you guys think of this. Do you like the look? Do you like how it turned out? Is it everything you imagine it would be? I know it's way different from what normal people do, but I really like how it turned out. So let me know in the comments other ideas you guys might have in the future. Also, if you guys are on Instagram, I post a lot behind the scenes. I posted a picture of the lift kit and the wheels in the box for my story, so you guys can get a little sneak peek there. I also post beforehand, so you guys know an update when I'm gonna post and everything. Check me out there, follow me there if you want to. If not, I will catch you guys in next week's episode, and it is probably gonna be on the jet skis. We'll see. Stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing.